to become a controller at the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. He was also a former director at Amnesty International. Mr. Chris Agu is not new to office. In politics, or he's not new to politics rather, in 2004, he contested for office of the local government chairman of Kaduna North Local Government as a member of the Alliance for Democracy at the time. Now as a member of the People's Redemption Party, having defected from the All Progressives Congress only months ago, he emerges as the party's governorship candidate. And today he joins us to tell us why he is running for office. Welcome to the candidates, Mr. Agu.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
So I want to start by asking you why it is essential to you that you are the governor of Enugu State.
Why?
Why it is important to you that you are the governor of Enugu State.
Okay. It is very important, and it will be very good for me to be the governor of Enugu State because we want to right the wrongs. We want to set our people free from the bondage that have been engulfed for the past 20-something years. History will hold us responsible if we keep quiet and watch people bastardizing the state our founding fathers suffered for. A situation whereby retirees in Enugu State are dying in their numbers, no gratuity, pension not paid, teachers are suffering, teachers being the bedrock of every education. To pay teachers common minimum wage, which I even refer to as slave wage, the government cannot pay. And then even their leave grants and the entitlements. There's no water in Enugu. And before this government ascended to power, the water was everywhere in Enugu, including my own residence. But today, I buy water in Enugu. There is insecurity. So if I become the governor of Enugu State, it will bring joy to many homes, to the students. In Enugu State, students of tertiary institutions, they don't receive bursary. Even in my campaign jingle, I made it clear, it is necessary to reduce the hardship that the parents are facing. The physical challenge will also be glad because I'm their patron. 4 weeks ago, they gave me an award in Abuja because of my assistance to the physical challenge at the National Human Rights Commission in Abuja. So all these people that have been neglected, people living with disability, and you know, in People's Redemption Party, the physical challenge are also involved. We are sponsoring a candidate from Ogu, from Omako, Honorable Kalisis Obasi. So we want to run an inclusive government in Enugu State. Enugu State was not developed by Enugu indigenes alone. Good people of Anambra State, Imo, Abia, Ebonyi, and Yoma Delta. In fact, the whole eastern region, they contributed in the development of Enugu State. These people have to be involved in the affairs of the state. I want to run a government that they will be glad they are part of Enugu.
Okay. So, in your mind, as you've worked, you sort of have a clear understanding of what some of the problems are. Having worked in the civil service for years, why then do you think that coming back into service, but this time as a governor, is an avenue or gives you the opportunity to bring about the type of change that you want to see?
Yes, because when you look at those that have been governing Enugu State, they don't know the rudiment of administration. You will hear them say, former this, former that. or business people, they have never served. And that's why they are punishing the civil, they have destroyed the civil service structure in Enugu State because they don't have any orientation. So if I come now, we will now repair all those things that they have damaged. Apart from that, look at the industries left by Dr. Michael Emayokbara, former Premier of Eastern Region. Go to Port Harcourt, you see Hotel Presidential. Build the same period with the Hotel Presidential here at Enugu. But I can tell you authoritatively today that if you want to kill big snake in Enugu, go to Hotel Presidential here. If you want to catch the biggest rat in Enugu, go to Hotel Presidential Enugu here. The government that ruled Enugu between 1990 to date destroyed the foundation laid by our founding fathers. But go to Port Harcourt. Hotel Presidential in Port Harcourt is functioning. Again, is it not from the palm produce that they built all those things in those days? Even
and you are convinced that the problem there is one of administration?
It is administration. They don't know it. When they see money, they feel it belongs to them, that it is for their family. And that's why retirees are suffering today in Enugu. Apart from where I'm coming from, who is my mentor, His Excellency Alhaji Barabe Musa. I served him, I was his SA on domestic affairs for 20 years. So the experience I got from him during my mentorship is also an advantage. And it's an eloquent testimony that I will combine the experience I gathered while in northern Nigeria, where I spent 30 years with the civil service. I was a former teacher. I taught history at Al-Huda Huda Senior Secondary School, Zaria, Tafa Belewa, Girls Secondary Kaduna, and the first private school in Kaduna, Labai International Secondary School. I headed their history department. So in business too, not only that I'm a civil servant, I'm versatile. I own the largest cleaning outfit in Kaduna. Anybody who lives in Kaduna knows Wazobia Associate. It's a company that I founded in 1985, waste management company. In fact, for your information, I prepared the waste management project for Abuja when architect Ibrahim Bunu was the minister. And that's why today they're still using my proposal. You see, Abuja is clean. I own a company that collects waste in Kaduna, which was established in 1985. Was every associate. I own the largest piggery farm in Enugu. I'm a farmer. So I'm not only a teacher, a civil servant, no. And all this money, God bless me because they are genuine. I've never been in government. I've never stolen one kobo from Enugu State. And it will be a cause for anybody to come to power in Enugu State and start undoing our good people. It will be a cause.
So, and I hear you, and we hope that we get a leader who understands that public wealth is for public use. And in the light of that, I want to get your thoughts on just the IGR being generated here in Enugu State. As a business person, what are your thoughts on the amount of money that Enugu State is able to generate internally? And do you have any proposals for improving on what's been collected here?
Thank you. You see, the IGR generated in Enugu State, they don't declare all. They declare 20%.
Why do you say that?
I'm telling you what I know. They don't declare all. So the first thing I will do is to close all those avenues. These people have been raping the state. They declare only 20%. And that is the problem. So if we come to power, we're not going to put more burden on our people because we want to increase the distance. Our people are already suffering. They are suffering already. So what we are going to do is to close those avenues that the hawks and the vultures have been using in cutting away our IGR. The moment we close all those avenues and the money comes into the government, but we don't need to over-labor our people again. No, they have enough burden.
When you say close the avenue, what do you mean? What exactly is your strategy for closing that avenue?
We change those. When I come to power, I will change those that are in charge of the revenue. We have chairman in Enugu here, chairman of the revenue collection and all these other things. We know what is happening at the main market, at the new market. All these people, they planted people. Look, even if you are 100 naira drop on the ground, these people will pick it. It is greed. It is greed. And the moment you're a greedy leader, you can never be satisfied. And again, I will not even venture in grabbing anybody's property or land. I will not try it. For your information, we are going to settle many cases out of court. If you go to Enugu High Court today, you see people in court with the government over their property. When economy is biting on people, government should not inflict injuries on the people again.
Okay. So at this point, I would like to take questions in the audience. I know there's a gentleman up in front, please, if you would walk here. Let's start with him. Raised up his hand earlier on. Please be sure to keep your questions brief. For those watching at home, you can join the conversation. Please use the handles on your screen to send in your questions to the candidate, and we would ask them here in the studio. Let's hear from you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor.
Thank you.
Aspirant, my name is Sir Kasmia Ugu, a retired permanent secretary in Enugu State. You were talking about your life, having lived severally at the northern part of the country, up to 35 years or more, and we are all in our last quarters. I don't know how much you know about Enugu State. Bearing that in mind, you are talking about enhancing the life and living of people in Enugu State. Vis-a-vis provision of goods and services. How much do you think Enugu State generates in a year? Because you were talking with so much affirmation that 20% is remitted and 80% is frittered away. How did you come about that information? Because I know there are several sources of revenue in the state, which amounts both taxation from civil servants and then income tax from the people, and then other services, earnings, and then rents.
Okay.
How do you hope to generate money to run your government, bearing in mind that you have so much, you know that about 80% is frittered away?
Let's leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My staying in northern Nigeria for 30 years does not mean that I'm not keeping abreast with what is happening in Enugu State. I'm the national leader of Enugu Youth Movement. I come to Enugu, I have up to ward level, our members, they report to me. We organize the first CCONO Memorial Lecture 3 times now. Even Dr. Simon Onwu, the first Igbo medical doctor, we organized a lecture. So I've been part of Enugu. And my background as an Enugu Nguo man in Enugu North, I know much about Enugu. I even have the documents of the deeds for the acquisition of Enugu land with British government, the 1915, 1917, and 1921 deeds with the British government. So I know Enugu very well, and as a historian who have written many books on Enugu, so I'm conversant with this place, and I speak my dialect very well, and I'm a true Wawa man. So I know Enugu very proper. Now, you see, we're not going to depend on this IGR. We're going to create wealth. We're going to create wealth. You see, like all this area, the bandits arrest our people, kidnap and enter bush. We are going to construct roads that will enter all those vast land. We are going to plant palm trees. Within 2 years, this is in my farm. Within 2 years, you start harvesting. A liter of palm oil is more expensive than a liter of fuel. So if we cultivate palm trees all over this area, let me tell you, we will checkmate security. We will ensure neighborhood watch people run what we call shift, and it will become a parastatal on its own, and they will be paid minimum wage. They will protect our property, protect those farms in the bush. You see, these people that kidnap our people are there in the forest, in the bush, because our people have abandoned those areas. So by the time we have an activity, something that will be giving us money, look, we have to do the part of the old people, agriculture. In palm oil, apart from the palm oil, you will get the palm kernel, you get chaff from there, you squeeze it, you get palm kernel oil. Then we'll now talk about re-establishing the Natch vegetable oil. The raw materials are available in Enugu State. Now, the chaff from that palm kernel will be used in feeding or manufacturing, because we are going to build a factory that manufactures fish feeds. So these are the areas we generate money. We will create wealth. We're going to agriculture.
Mr. Agu, so I want to find out here, great as your plans are, right? You will need money to do that. So how do you hope to raise the funds or the bonds that pay for this infrastructure?
Thank you very much. One, any project I want to undertake must be a project that will create wealth, that will yield money, even if we go on loan or partnership with other companies or individuals. If we get loan to go into agriculture, like planting of those palm trees, let me tell you, within 3 years, such loan must be paid, because the palm nuts and all the things coming out from it will be more than enough to clear the problem we have in Enugu State. That's why we are the most seventh debt state in the country. We are owing in billions, because when they obtain loan, they don't invest it in anything that will yield money to pay back the loan. As a businessman, when I obtain loan to set up my farm, from the proceeds from that farm, I will pay the loan. And when we set up a palm produce board, Enugu Marketing Company will be revived. Things will start moving. Okay. And before you know it, we will clear any money we borrow from the bank. Another way is this. All those people that have stolen this money, do you think I'm going to leave them alone? Let me tell you, if you don't collect this money, then you are telling me to come and steal. That nothing happened to people that loot the economy.
We need to give room to.
So we are going to
we need to
catch
give room
them.
To. We need to give room to more questions. There's a lady here, please. So we'll go one man, one woman, one man, one woman, like that, so there's balance. Let's take one more.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Nnenna Nozie. I'm a legal practitioner and the chairperson, League of Women Voters of Nigeria, Enugu State Chapter. I've listened to the first candidate and I've listened to you now. And none of you has ever mentioned women inclusiveness, women inclusion in your governance. I wouldn't know if your deputy is a woman, But you know that currently in Enugu State House of Assembly, we have 24 seats, and out of these 24 seats, we have just 4 women. And in the 17 local government area, there's no woman currently as the chairman. So I wouldn't know what your government will be like in ensuring that more women are included in your government.
All right, let's take that quickly.
Very easy.
We have 1 minute to take that.
Even in the PRP philosophy, as produced by late Chinua Achebe, one of the founders of PRP, there it is enshrined that it should be 50-50. And when Nawaj visited me last 3 months at my home, I told them that it's going to be 50-50. Presently, we have 6 women in Enugu State contesting various positions in PRP. So we are going to, it's going to be equal, 50-50. Because women, they are very, very useful and resourceful.
All right, thank you.
Thank
you very much. And that is our time with Mr. Chris Agu, who is the governorship candidate of the People's Redemption Party. Thank you very much for spending time with us this evening, and we wish you all the very best at the polls. Stay with us. We'll bring up another candidate in just a moment. You are watching the candidates reaching you live from Enugu State, Nigeria. Good evening.